What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchets REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction. So excited about this video. If you're new to us
and we're new to you,
make sure you scroll down,
hit that subscribe button,
and turn on the post notification bell
because we're on the road to 200K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, alright? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
Let's get it.
When I first moved here in 2008, I had all these British people saying, "Ooh, don't you become all Americanised?" And I hope those people aren't watching because, as you can see, there's no going back. I have become Americanised to the extent that I am now, in fact, an American citizen. And because of that, and since I've lived here for so long, you really do start to pick up an attachment to certain things. And people who've been subscribed to this channel for a long time are probably expecting me to say air conditioning right off the bat because I've done that 1,000 times.
Right.
Because I've done it 1,000 times that I'm not going to do it in this video, but just take it as read that AC ordinarily is one of the things I can't live without.
Right, he ain't lying, because I remember just listening to y'all express how y'all don't do ACs and y'all have to open the window instead. Right. And y'all even have it to where y'all windows are built certain ways so, you know, where it can just stay open and y'all can enjoy it. Yeah, I just don't see me doing that because even the fan is required here. No. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. You know, we watch a lot of different content on the channel and we're always like, oh, we wish we had that, we wish we had this. But when it comes to some of the things, AC is something that I cannot go back on. I have to have some AC.
Man, that heat just not gonna work for me.
At all. Nah. Talking about it's only 2 months. Only?
That's a long 2 months.
If I'm without it for a day, I'm complaining.
Bruh.
Did in Britain for 26 years. And if you aren't yet subscribed to this channel, do that now. In the meantime, here are American things that I can no longer live without.
Drive-thrus.
I feel like this one is just really embarrassing because when I lived in England, we knew about drive-through restaurants in America and thought that looks a bit too extravagant. What's wrong with catching a bus and then walking the extra half a mile to get to the place and ordering your food there? At least then you justify the calories you're about to eat at, say, McDonald's. And I held on to that feeling for quite a while, but then I turned 40 and realised that I like my comforts, that I'm lazy, and that my dog Arthur really likes drive-thrus because it often comes with the promise of a puppuccino. And since I left Britain, I have heard that drive-thrus have popped up in Britain. And if you are British and you are watching this, have you experienced drive-thrus where you live? And if so, do they drive in the opposite direction around the building to...
Mixer
Number 2, mixer taps. You might have seen my YouTube short from last week where I spoke about this phenomenon, which is less of a phenomenon and more just the norm in most places in the world, but not in Britain. And if you don't know the reasons for that, go and watch the short in question. The point is, in the house that I grew up in Britain, and just most houses in Britain, the bathrooms and the kitchens have sinks with separate hot and cold taps. And for 26 years, I had to wash my hands like this. Get some soap, nice and foamy. Turn on the hot tap while getting foam on it. Run your hands under that, that's bloody hot. Turn on the cold tap to cool them down. Ah, that's nice. That's
mixture.
Really nice.
Okay,
it's actually get a bit too cold now, and they're done. And I never once thought to myself, there must be an easier way to do this. I did turn the taps off too, I'm not wasting water. And then I moved to America and I noticed there was just one faucet in the sinks in the house that I lived in initially. I just thought, well, maybe this is a quirk of this particular house and didn't really think too much of it. But I did like the fact that you could choose the temperature that came out of the tap. You didn't have to be scalding hot. It didn't have to be freezing cold. It could be somewhere in between. That said, I don't think in the middle is the perfect temperature. That's too lukewarm. I'm the sort of person who gets his steak medium well. And so when I've had a steak and my hands are all greasy, I like my temperature to be medium well. I might have thought about this too much.
So is that the same with showers?
Oh, yeah.
Cause that's crazy. Like, if you can't really control the temperature, how do y'all get a nice, you know, comfortable shower? Because...
Or is it just scalding hot?
Y'all just cool the cold or y'all cool the heat, you know? Cause
or is it like some of the South American countries where they have the electric shower? Or is it like that? Y'all let us know. That's the first time this topic has come up.
Mixer faucets.
Okay.
Vans.
One of the biggest American things that I can't live without, and one that I've not really spoken about publicly, is vans. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, Lawrence, you and Tara have a Prius. That's hardly a van, is it? Well, calm down, you keyboard warrior. Warrior. Because I'm not referring to the vehicle type. I'm referring to Vans shoes.
Shoes, really?
And as you can see, these are a little worn and dog-eaten, and they're in the process of being replaced. But the point is, these are my favourite shoe brand. And you might be thinking, Lawrence, I didn't know you were a skater boy, because as we know, Avril Lavigne is a massive fan of this channel. And I'm not a skater boy, although granted I did once have an addiction to Tony Hawk's 3. The point is, I am somebody with long legs, rubbish knees, and I don't like shoelaces.
Now, I should add that Vans has lace-up shoes too, but they are pointless.
Now, this is not sponsored by Vans. If it was, I'd probably show much nicer pairs of shoes. But I've just become a fan, you know, a van fan, or a van. And they're comfortable. I walk in these every day with Arthur when he's not treating them like a meal. And they've been everywhere with me, from the beaches of Lake Michigan to the mountainsides of West Virginia. And they've got the scars and the odour to prove it.
I feel like Vans are the only. I feel like, ooh, that did not come out right. It didn't want to come out, but I feel like Vans are the only shoes that can look scuffed up and they won't look scuffed up.
Right, look like skaters.
They're like, because they're skater shoes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Walking shoes.
Right. Okay, but that one is. I don't really get it. Y'all don't have Vans? Like, y'all could buy what we have, I think too, right?
That was one video we did, and they said you can tell they're from America by how their shoes are.
Okay.
And I feel like in the UK, a lot of them wear, like, dress-up shoes to a certain extent. Oh,
y'all dress up more than we do, huh?
There you go. They don't do sweatpants and all that stuff in the Walmarts or the stores. They put it on. They put it on. Okay. So, yeah, do y'all not want Vans or, like...
But that's interesting because, like, y'all have the same stuff, like, y'all can purchase it. Y'all just would pay, like, import prices and things, right? Like the extra taxes.
Did you ever think that you'd hear a British person say this? I can't live without American English. Now, for me, more than most people, that's true because, firstly, it forms part of the basis of my job. Comparing and contrasting our two countries' varieties of English. But it also plays a big part in my everyday life. I mean, firstly, I'm married to an American-born citizen. Secondly, and I've done videos about the precise Americanisms in question, I myself have picked some up. Many, in fact. You know, I come from a country where we are forever fearful of the Americanization of English within Britain. The thing is that I would say to that is that Britain lost that fight a long time ago. For instance, any British person, and this is 90% of us who've ever used the word hangover are upset that we have one, but at this point are probably completely unaware that the word hangover originated in American English more than a century ago. Now, I wonder if British people at the time had the same reservations over the word hangover as they do quite a lot of American English. But then it got me thinking, we don't take any issue with most American English terms that make it over to Britain.
Whether it's military-derived words like radar, or musical genres like jazz and rock and roll.
Or a word as simple as hello. American English and British English have long influenced each other and will continue to do so long after I'm dead. And on that happy note, it's time to get up off the sofa.
Mudroom.
And that's because I want to talk about one particular room in my house, and that is the mudroom.
Okay.
And even though you find mudrooms in other countries like Canada and even to some extent Britain, it just feels like more American houses have them. And you might be thinking, what is a mudroom? Well, a mudroom, as I've pointed out in previous videos, is a sort of entryway that just allows you to drag mud in there before you enter the main part of the house. I mean, that might not be its official purpose, but that's what I use it for. And especially since I got a dog. You know, he likes to run around in this yard. Sometimes he drags me too, and so when we come back from doing that, I make sure we hang out in here first so that I don't have to bother getting a towel and drying his feet off. But I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you the main reason that I've fallen in love with this mudroom is it's a very convenient place just to store rubbish. I don't mean mouldy rubbish like food or stuff like that, but just sort of empty boxes that I don't have room in the recycling bin for yet. I've just realised that everything on this list is something that I could live without if I wasn't lazy. But the fact of the matter is, I am. Which brings us on to the final entry.
Huh?
Yep.
Over the last 2 weeks, it's become very apparent to me that I couldn't make this video without including a piece of furniture that I spoke about a few weeks ago in a video all about American furniture, and that is Adirondack chairs. It's been a good few weeks. I've used them very often while sitting outside with Arthur. Now, granted, it is the summer, so it sort of makes sense that I am out here, but I can imagine that I'll probably be using these in the height of winter, just not in a t-shirt, but a winter jacket. Because like Vans, they are comfortable, and you might be thinking, aren't they just like a deck chair. And firstly, no, because you don't have to fold them up and put them away. And secondly, on deck chairs, your arse doesn't fall back because there's not that diagonal slope. Whereas with these, there is. And again, appeals to my laziness. And then, of course, the arms that I spoke about in that video are majestic. I mean, you can fit your phone on it, for one. And number two, you could probably play an entire board game. I've got this idea that my wife or friends will bring along their other Adirondack chair, put it here so that they're sitting there, and we'll just put a board here, play checkers. The one thing that I didn't mention in that video is that they're really easy to clean. And I know that because they're constantly getting covered in birch. That is one of the downsides of having it under a magnolia tree, which is so massive, I didn't really have any choice. So that's my list, or at least a partial list, because like I said, there's hundreds of other things that I could have included. And if this video does well, my producers say, then we'll do a part 2. If it tanks...
Alright, let's get it, man. Make sure you guys check his channel out. That chair, I feel like, has its own personal partner for it. Like, if you're a person with that chair, you don't really let no one else sit in it.
Nope.
And a lot of times, if you're in sports, you may see those chairs with the person's favorite team design or spray painted all over it. Them chairs are very universal. Ones. Yeah, they're very universal.
Yeah. I just find it so interesting, like things that we just look over like, that's not important.
Right.
People from other countries, when they come here, they enjoy those things.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Facts.
I like it. All right, y'all. We hope you guys enjoy this video with us. Be sure to subscribe. We'll see you soon.
Peace.